Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Namisha. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Very nice singing. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Rupa Mataji, Pranam. So we welcome Krishna Rupa Mataji. Mataji will cover today's 30th shloka to 36th. And also I have a request for everyone. See, Narsimha Chaturdashi is coming on 11th. So please, if you can, chant one round of Narsimha mantra, Ugram Veeram Mahavishnu, for everyone's security, and especially our army personal security. So it would be wonderful. And yes, with that, we will start. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, Mataji. Yes, I'll make you a co-host, Mataji.
Yeah, thank you. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, are you all able to hear me?
Yes, Mataji, we are able to hear you.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you so much. I am so happy to be in your association once again. We'll quickly start with Mangalacharan. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatadeshatarine Vancha Kalpatrubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I'll quickly share the screen with you all. So we are on this particular shloka. Canto 4, chapter 17 and text 30. Okay, so somebody is going to read the shloka and the translation and the purport.
You want us to read the shloka translation and purport, Mataji?
Yeah, somebody can read.
Okay,
I can read the shloka and maybe only translation and purport somebody can read.
Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yenaham atmayantan vinirmita dhatrayato yayam gunasarga sangraha sa eva mamahantum mudayadho swarada upasthito anim sharanam kamashraye. So this is Mother Bhumi speaking.
Hare Krishna. Vasudha Mataji, you can read the translation, and Shobha Mataji the purport. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Translation, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The planet Earth continued My dear Lord, you are the complete conductor of the material creation. You have created this cosmic manifestation and the three material qualities, and therefore you have created me, the planet Earth, the resting place of all living entities. Yet you are always fully independent, my Lord. Now that you are present before me and ready to kill me with your weapons, let me know where I should go to take shelter, and let me who and tell me who can give me protection. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Dandat Pranam Mataji and Prabhuji, purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The planet Earth herein exhibits the symptoms of full surrender before the Lord. As stated, no one can protect the person whom Krishna is prepared to kill, and no one can kill the person whom Krishna protects. Because the Lord was prepared to kill the planet Earth, there was no one to give protection to her. We all are receiving protection from the Lord, and it is therefore proper that every one of us surrender unto him. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, 66th shloka, the Lord instructs, Sarva dharman parityatya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma suchaha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reaction. Do not fear. Srila Bhakti Vinoda Thakura sings, My dear Lord, whatever I have, even my mind, the center of all material necessities, namely my home, my body, and whatever I have in connection with this body, I now surrender unto you. You are now completely independent to act however you like. If you like, you can kill me. If you like, you can save me. In any case, I am your eternal servant, and you have every right to do whatever you like. Haribol. Thank you, Mataji. Dandavats. Thank you, Mataji.
Remember, this bhajan is that bhajan. Maro bi rakho bi jo ichha to mara. You remember this? This is that particular bhajan. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read all the 6 shlokas, and I have a theme for these 6 shlokas, and I'll be explaining in the end. Okay. And the theme is connected to Lord Nrsimhadev only. Okay. So we'll just read the shlokas and the purport and translation. Ya etad adavam asrija characharam swamayaya swamayayatma shrayaya vita prakyaya tayeva soyam kila goptumudyata katham numa dharma paro jighasati.
Hare Krishna. Nemisha Mataji, you read the translation. Rohini Mataji, the purport. Hare Krishna.
In the beginning of creation, you created all these moving and non-moving living entities by your inconceivable energy. Through this very same energy, you are now prepared to protect the living entities. Indeed, you are the supreme protector of religious principles. Why are you so anxious to kill me even though I am in the form of a cow? Somebody read the purport.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The planet Earth argues that there is no doubt that one who creates can also annihilate by his sweet will. The planet Earth questions why she should be killed when the Lord is prepared to give protection to everyone. After all, it is the earth that is the resting place for all other living entities, and it is the earth that produces grains for them. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So then ahead she says, these are all the prayers to the end, to the 36th shloka, where the chapter ends. She's only speaking. Nunam bateshaya samhitam jane तन्मायया दुर्जयया कृतात् बिभि न लक्ष्यते यस्त्वं करोद कार्यद यो अनेक एक परतश्च ईश्वरः.
Hare Krishna. Sharmila Mataji, you read the translation, and Barnali Mataji, the purport. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear Lord, although you are one, by your inconceivable potencies, you have expanded yourself in many forms. Through the agency of Brahma, you have created this universe. You are therefore directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Those who are not sufficiently experienced cannot understand your transcendental activities because these persons are covered by your illusory energy. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranams. Thank you, Mataji. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. God is one, but he expands himself in a variety of energies. The material energy, the spiritual energy, the marginal energy, and so forth. Unless one is favored and especially endowed with grace, he cannot understand how the one supreme personality of Godhead acts through his different energies. The living entities are also the marginal energy of the supreme personality of Godhead. Brahma is also one of these living entities, but he is especially empowered by the supreme personality of Godhead. Although Brahma is supposed to be the creator of this universe, actually the supreme personality of Godhead is its ultimate creator. In this verse, the word Maya is significant. Maya means energy. Lord Brahma is not the energetic, but is one of the manifestations of Lord's marginal energy. In other words, Lord Brahma is only an instrument. Although sometimes plans appear contradictory, there is a definite plan behind all action. One who is experienced and is favored by the Lord can understand that everything is being done according to Lord's supreme plan. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Dandavat Pranams.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so ahead she says, Saragadiyo yasya nuna Saragadiyo syanu runadhi shaktibhir dravya kriya karaka chetanatmabhi tasmai samunnandha niruddhak shaktaye nama parasmai purushasya vedase.
Hare Krishna. Shilpa Mataji, you read the translation and Meenakshi Mataji the purport. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear Lord, by your own potencies, you are the original cause of the material elements, the performing instruments, the senses, the workers of the senses, the controlling demigods, the intelligence and the ego, as well as everything else. By your energy, you manifest this entire cosmic creation, maintain it and dissolve it. Through your energy alone, everything is sometimes manifest and sometimes not manifest. You are therefore the supreme personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All activities begin with the creation of the total energy, the Mahat Tattva. Then by the agitation of the three gunas, the physical elements are created, as well as the mind, ego, and the controllers of the senses. All of these are created one after another by the inconceivable energy of the Lord. In modern electronics, a mechanic may, by pushing only one button, set off an electronic chain reaction, by which so many actions are carried out one after another. Similarly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead pushes the button of creation, and different energies create the material elements and various controllers of the physical elements, and their subsequent interactions follow the inconceivable plan of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So then ahead, Mother Bhumi says, Savai bhavanatma vinirmitam jagat bhutendriyantah karnatmakam vibho samsthapayayishan ajamam rasatalad abhyujjana rasamba adi shukaraha.
Hare Krishna. Kusumlata Mataji, you can read the translation and Padma Mataji the purport. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear Lord, you are always unborn. Once in the form of the original boar, you rescued me from the waters in the bottom of the universe. Through your own energy, you created all the physical elements, the senses and the heart for the maintenance of the world. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This refers to the time when Lord Krishna appeared as the supreme boar, Varaha, and rescued the earth, which had been merged in water. The Asura Hiranyaksha had dislocated the earth from its orbit and thrown it beneath the waters of Garbhoda ocean. Then the Lord, in the shape of the original bow, rescued the earth. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Then I hear Mother Bhumi says, Apamupaste mai navyavastitham prajabhavanatya rirakshu kilaha saviramurti sambudhadharadharo yo mam pashi ugrasaro jighamsisi.
Hare Krishna. Nemishi Mataji, you are there. You can read the translation, and Karpagalya Mataji can read the purport. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, can you hear me?
Yes, Mataji.
Translation by His J.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. My dear Lord, in this way, you once protected me by rescuing me from the water, and consequently your name has been famous as Dhara Dhara, he who holds the planet Earth. Yet at the present moment, in the form of a great hero, you are about to kill me with sharpened arrows. I am, however, just like a boat on the water, keeping everything afloat. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Am I audible, Mataji?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. The Lord is known as Dara Dara, meaning he who keeps the planet Earth on his tusk as boar incarnation. Thus, the planet Earth is planet Earth in the shape of a cow is accounting contradictory acts of the Lord. Although he once saved the earth, he now wants to upset the earth, which is like a boat on water. No one can understand the activities of the Lord. Due to poor fund of knowledge, human beings sometimes think the Lord's activities contradictory. Thank you, Mataji. Dandat Nam.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji.
Next, Mother Bhumi says, this is the last shloka. Nunam janerittham ishwaranam asmadvidhastat gunasargamayaya na gyayate mohitachittavartamabhis tebhyo namo virayasya karyabhayhe.
Hare Krishna. Divya Desai Mataji, you can read the translation, and I'll read the purport. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Divya Desai Mataji, can you read?
Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. My dear Lord, I am also the creation of one of your energies composed of the three modes of material nature. Consequently, I am bewildered by your activities. Even the activities of your devotees cannot be understood, and what to speak of your pastimes. Thus, everything appears to us to be contradictory and wonderful. Hare Krishna Mataji, Pranams Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Pranams. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his various forms and incarnations are always uncommon and wonderful. It is not possible for a tiny human being to estimate the purpose and plans of such activities. Therefore, Srila Jiva Goswami has said that unless the Lord's activities are accepted as inconceivable, they cannot be explained. The Lord is eternally existing as Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead in Goloka Vrindavan. He has also simultaneously expanded himself in innumerable forms, beginning with Lord Rama, Lord Nisimha, Lord Varaha, and all the incarnations coming directly from Sankarsana. Sankarsana is the expansion of Baladeva, and Baladeva is the first manifestation of Krishna. Therefore, all these incarnations are known as Kala. The word Ishwaranam refers to all the personalities of Godhead, as stand in Brahma Samhita 5.39. Ramadimurtishu kalani yamena tishtan. In the Shrimad Bhagavatam, it is confirmed that all the incarnations are partial expansions or kala of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. One should not take the plural number of the word Ishwaranam to mean that there are many Godheads. The fact is that God is one, but he exists eternally and expands himself in innumerable forms and acts in various ways. Sometimes the common man is bewildered by all this and considers such activities contradictory, but they are not contradictory. There is a great plan behind all the Lord's activities. For our understanding, it is sometimes said that the Lord is situated in the heart of the thief as well as in the heart of the householder. But the super soul in the heart of the thief dictates, go and steal things from that particular house. And at the same time, the Lord tells the householder, now be careful of thieves and burglars. These instructions to different persons appear contradictory, yet we should know that the super soul, the supreme personality of Godhead, has some plan, and we should not consider such activities contradictory. The best course is to surrender unto the supreme personality of Godhead wholeheartedly, and being protected by him, remain peaceful. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purpose of the 4th canto, 17th chapter of the Shrimad Bhagavatam, entitled Maharaja Prithu becomes angry at the earth. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. So if you see this chapter actually, in this chapter actually, Prithu Maharaj is about to actually, harm Mother Earth, because the citizens of the kingdom were starving, and because they were starving, they went and, gave a little complaint to Prithu Maharaj. So therefore, he became very much concerned. And after hearing this lamentation of the citizens, then he was about to take the bow and arrow and kill Mother Earth. But she became very afraid, and she started running exactly like a deer runs away, like when the deer sees the hunter. But when she sees Prithu Maharaj very angry, and his eyes were very red, so then immediately, now when somebody is angry, even if you see a small child, when a small child, the mother is angry, immediately, the small child surrenders. Otherwise, he's very naughty. But as soon as he sees now the mother is angry, he immediately surrenders. So now the earth takes the shape of a cow, and then, she tries to surrender to the Supreme Lord. And then she's saying, she's actually praying to the Supreme Lord, and these are her different prayers. And then when she's coming to this 30th shloka, she's saying that you are only the, protector, controller. And if you see in all her prayers, these are all prayers of Sharanagati, or these are the prayers of full surrender, where even if you see in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, you surrender to me. So Krishna is demanding that surrender to us. Now, surrender, if you see, has many aspects, but primarily there are 6 symptoms of surrender. Anukulyasya sankalpa, pratikulyasya varjanam, rakshishite vishwaso, goparite varnam tatha, atma nikshaya karpanye, shadvida sharanagati. So now if you see, the first is anukulyasya sankalpa. Anukulyasya means what? Whatever is favorable, okay, that I will definitely accept. And whatever is not favorable for my bhakti, that I will reject. And rakshishiti vishwaso. Rakshishiti vishwaso means that faith that the Supreme Lord will definitely protect. Like how Prahlad Maharaj had full faith, rakshishiti vishwaso, that yes, Lord Narshing, the Supreme Lord will definitely, save him. And goparitve, and he will definitely resort to him as his savior. And then he's saying that karpanya. So once a person has this utter helplessness. Now, if you see utter helplessness, example, if you see from the Shastras is, Draupadi actually showed that utter helplessness when she was in that particular, when she was being ripped as such. So she was into utter helplessness. She had a sense of utter helplessness that time. And then Atma Nikshaya, complete surrender. Bali Maharaj gave complete surrender. Atma Nivedanam. He actually gave himself also in this. So when we say surrender, so somebody will say, okay, these are the things, but how do I increase my surrender? And I have a very whimsical nature. Sometimes, I love doing, things, but sometimes I don't love doing it. Sometimes I love, reading for a very long time, but sometimes I don't feel like. So sometimes these are actually, our whimsical natures, and these whimsical natures keep cropping up. But how to combat these things, how to come out of these whimsical natures? So if you see, for us, the biggest struggle in our life is, or in anybody, in any person's life, for him, it's like in the struggle is between surrendering to the Supreme Lord and following his own whimsical desires. And that is why the Bhagavad Gita in the 30th shloka only is giving that, he's giving a solution. He's saying Sarva Dharma Parityaja, that I should increase my surrender, and that is why I must accept Krishna's will over my personal whimsical nature or my personal whims. And I should follow the scriptural guidance. And otherwise, what will happen is my whimsical mind will lead me to instability and then suffering as such. So that is why, if you see, there are many dangers of whimsical behavior. And it is very important for us to surrender. And if you see in the Bhagavad Gita is filled with these powerful shlokas of surrender. Like, for example, when Krishna says you surrender to me, so then definitely we are surrendering to an authority. Krishna is an authority. The spiritual master is an authority. The mentors are authority. So if I'm acting without an authority, then it will lead to failure. For example, if I don't have a teacher for maths, I'm definitely going to fail in that subject, right? So bhakti is also a subject, and I need a spiritual master. I need a teacher for that particular subject. And why? Because the spiritual master has mastered that subject. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena seva upadekshite jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. Because Jnaninas, he has done this, he's a tattvadarshi person, and that is why I need to surrender to him. Or if I, if I'm following the spiritual master, then it is going to bring me perfection. Till the time I don't follow a spiritual master, it's going to bring me failure. Like when Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita 16th chapter, that is, I think the 23rd shloka, he says that Ya Shastram Vriddhi Usrijya Vartate Kama Karatah and Na Siddhim Apnoti Na Sukham Na Param Gatim. So he says that anybody who is disregarding the scriptural injunctions, of course we are not, but sometimes we accept and sometimes we reject. Sometimes we don't consistently read scriptures. Of course, with you all, that is not a problem at all, because every day we are having Bhagavatam classes and reading the scriptures again. And if somebody is not, somebody is disregarding the scriptural injunctions and he is acting according to his own whimsical nature, then he is not attaining perfection, and he does not get happiness also, and he does not get perfection also. Krishna says very clearly, he says. So if I'm acting whimsically, then it will lead to suffering and failure. And that is why I must follow Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. Now, if you see, here also, Mother Earth is taking shelter of the Supreme Lord. Because the citizens are not very much, satisfied. That is why they took shelter of Prithu Maharaj, who is the king. And then Prithu Maharaj, when he tries to, kill Mother Earth, she is trying to take shelter of the Supreme Lord, because she knew that he is the only one who can save me. And then, instead of my whimsical actions, it's better for me to surrender to my spiritual master or the Supreme Lord and then serve sincerely. Once I have taken initiation, once I have surrendered, then I should serve very sincerely. And that is why Krishna also rejects whimsical worship. He says in the Bhagavad Gita very clearly in the 9th chapter, 23rd shloka, he says that Ye api anya devata bhakta yajante shraddhayan vitah te api mam eva konte yajanti avidhi purvakam. So those who are worshipping, you know, or those devotees who are worshipping other demigods, and they're worshipping, you know, them with faith, but they're actually worshipping me only. So even if somebody is sincere and if they act whimsically, then Krishna does not accept their service. I'm very, very, very serious. I'm very serious person. I'm very sincere. But then if I act whimsically and not according to Guru, Sadhu and Shastra, still Krishna is not accepting the service. That is why anybody acting whimsical, he will be a whimsical preacher also. And it is very dangerous. Why? Because Krishna says in the same very canto, if you see, not this canto, sorry, it's in the 7th canto. That is the 15th chapter. He says that if somebody is acting against the principles of dharma, then it is leading to one's spiritual fall down. And that is why that particular person does not achieve auspicious nor perfection, and rather all his past credits are actually lost. This is actually in the 7th canto, 15th chapter, Krishna says this. That is why if I'm acting without Guru's instruction, then I will spiritually fall down. So that is why every time we need to, you know, reconfirm. Now, when I say Guru's instruction, spiritual master is not really easily accessible, but you have the Shiksha Gurus whom the spiritual master has invested sufficient amount of faith, and the Shiksha Gurus are also equally good enough to give us guidance as such, right? So that is why acting whimsically, you know, just we should shun down acting whimsically. So okay, then if I'm not acting whimsically and if I'm surrendering very properly, then what happens? The reverse of that, opposite. So if I'm acting whimsically, then I will not get perfection, or you know, there will be no auspiciousness, or I'll fall down. But if I surrender to the Supreme Lord, with, like Krishna says, you know, Sarva Dharma Paritteja Mamekam Sharanam Raja. So Krishna is saying, abandon everything and you come to me. So instead of acting whimsically, if I fully surrender to Krishna and follow all his instructions, then what will happen? Then actually I will advance spiritually, and I will move more and more deeper into the surrender aspect. So bhakti is all about discipline and not about independent, you can say, speculation. So that is why I should not follow my mind's dictations, but it is better to follow Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. So see, what is the problem with this whimsical behavior, okay? Because whimsical behavior, it will arise when somebody is ignoring Shastric injunctions, or he acts impulsively. And that is why the Bhagavad Gita, the same shloka, you know, the 16th chapter, 23 shloka is saying that what are the causes of that whimsical behavior is, or the whimsical nature is, because this particular person does not have faith in Krishna's plans, and he does not have faith in the spiritual master's instruction, in the Guru's instructions. And that is why he is very impulsive, and he is emotionally unstable also. And because he does not have faith, he is, you know, unstable, he's associating with materialistic people. See, faith can be developed only in the association of devotees. Like this morning, I was just standing and I was thinking, oh, I'm in the association of devotees. Such a safe place. And when you chant, you pray to the Lord. Oh, Krishna, always keep in the association of devotees, because my faith will be protected only in the association of devotees. I cannot protect my faith in any other way other than being in the association of devotees, because only in the association of devotees my faith for the scriptures will increase, my faith for chanting will increase, my faith for serving the Supreme Lord, my faith for surrendering, my faith for Krishna's plans and the instructions will increase only in the association of devotees. Now, why do we think that Prahlad Maharaj also, or Dhruv Maharaj also, all these great souls, they are only asking the Supreme Lord that I only want association of the devotees. Even Dhruv Maharaj said that please give me only association of devotees. So when we are in the association of materialistic people, we cannot appreciate devotional activities. And that is why we will rely more on our personal judgment, over reliance on our personal judgment. Without any, if you don't have spiritual guidance, then we'll rely more on our personal judgment. And that is why, if you see, even in Duryodhan's case, he was a whimsical person. He knew Krishna was God, but whimsically he was opposing the Pandavas, and that is why it led to his fall down. Or even in Kekai's case in Ramayana also, that she was influenced by mantra and she whimsically demanded Rama's exile. She brought great suffering to the whole dynasty of Lord Ram. And even Ravana, despite of good advice of Vibhishan, Ravana whimsically rejected Ram's supremacy, and he was ultimately, even Ravana knew that Lord Ram is the Supreme Lord. And that is why, if you see, even in Prabhupada's case also, see, we are talking about surrender, but these all whimsical things only, they don't lead us to surrender. So first we have to give up these, and then only we'll be able to surrender. So Prabhupada also, gives examples of rejecting some whimsical thinking. Like when Prabhupada's disciples, they face doubts about surrendering fully to Krishna. So he gave a very powerful example. He said, a child will whimsically run away from the father's protection, but he will suffer. And similarly, if I am running away from Krishna, then even I will suffer. Or Prabhupada says that if we run away from Krishna, then we will suffer. So, unlike whimsical people who chase, temporary comforts. And Prabhupada, said that surrendering to Krishna is everything. And that is why if you see Prabhupada also, he surrendered to Krishna's will. He left everything, in India, and he only went with 40 rupees and no material support to fulfill, his spiritual master's instructions. And that is why he completely surrendered to the instructions of the spiritual master. The other day, I was actually hearing one of the YouTube shorts of Srila Prabhupada, and he was saying that I have no qualification. All this empire that I have, built, it is only because of my spiritual master's instructions. I was able to follow my spiritual master's instructions word to word. And that is why everything is, so that is why this is the power of surrender. This surrender, it will lead to protection, and it will lead to even the grace of the Supreme Lord. This is one of the purposes saying that, you will get the grace of the Supreme Lord if you are surrendering. And that is why Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita also, 7th chapter, he says that this divine Devi Esha Gunamai Mama Maya Duratyaya. So this divine energy of mine is having the 3 modes of material nature, and this is very difficult to overcome. But those who surrender to me can very easily cross beyond it. Right? Krishna is saying that. So now if you see that Draupadi also surrendered, right? The surrender of Draupadi, when, Dushasana, he was dragging Draupadi into the Kauravas' court, and she initially tried to save herself by her strength and intelligence. But when she fully surrendered to Krishna with both her hands, raising, Krishna personally protected her. So actually this pastime, is a very interesting pastime, that Krishna and Rukmini were playing you know, what you can say, Ludo, you can say, I don't know what is that game called in English more, but you can say they both were playing Ludo. And, Krishna was saying that, one of my devotees is in very great trouble. So Rukmini is saying, hey, what are you doing over here? You get up and you just go and say that. No, that, friend of mine, my devotee hasn't, yet called me. So without, the devotee calling me, how can I go? Without an invitation, how will I go? So, and on this side, actually, Rukmini is seeking, and he's saying also that no, she's seeking help from other people. So I think I'm not needed. So Draupadi is seeking help from her husbands. Draupadi is seeking help from Bhishma Pitama, Dhritarashtra, and many other or her family members. And she's not able, and none of them are able to help. So then again, Krishna is playing, and his whole consciousness or his heart is not in that play. He's also in an anxiety. Because if the devotee is in an anxiety, or pure devotee is in an anxiety, so their Lord is also in an anxiety. And the Lord is giving a running commentary actually. This is what's exactly happening with the devotee. He's not revealing also Rukmini that it is Draupadi, right? He's just saying my devotee, my devotee. So then nobody is ready to help. And Dushasan is, keeping on, dragging and pulling her sari as such and insulting her with words and all. And she's seeking help. And to the last, then, saying that, Krishna is like, playing and is saying that the devotee, is in so much trouble, why is that devotee not calling me? Saying, Rukmini is saying, you don't need an invitation, you just straight go, you don't need an invitation to save your devotee, or, if the devotee is in some difficulty. But Krishna says that, no. The devotee has still some amount of what you say hope that something else will say, because Draupadi was holding her sari and she was she had faith in that sari, and in that teeth she was holding the sari, so she thought that she had faith in that sari. But then in the end, when she raised both her hands and she started pouring tears from her eyes profusely, that became a highway road or an express highway road for Krishna to immediately reach on the screen, on the scene over there. And then he supplied that unlimited sari. So that is why this is the reason why we raise both our hands and we say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Why we raise both our hands is the only reason that Krishna is actually demanding that full surrender. So Krishna protects only those who fully surrender without acting whimsically. Till that time, she was acting a little whimsical. And she was, taking shelter of her husbands and her in-laws and her other, people as such. But she did not fully, surrender. When she fully surrendered to Krishna, then immediately, she came. And even in Ramayana, if you see, that Vibhishana also left Ravana's court. He rejected the whims and he surrendered to the Lord. So initially, Sugriv was a little doubtful of the intentions of Vibhishan. But then Lord Ram, he declared that, see, if anyone, even one surrenders to me and says that I am yours, Krishna, from today I am yours. Lord Ram, from today I am yours. I will grant him my eternal protection. Even verbally also, if somebody says, even if you say today, Krishna, I am yours from today. So immediately, everywhere Krishna will, grant you protection. So means what? That in Vibhishan's case, what happened is Ravana is criticizing and Sugriva and everybody was doubting and criticizing Vibhishan. But what did Vibhishan do? He surrendered completely to Lord Ram. And that is why he got Lord Ram's divine protection. And that is why after Ravana, he placed Vibhishan on the throne. Though Lord Ram had won that battle. If Lord Ram wanted, he could have completely ruled on Lanka. But no, he said that let Vibhishan rule because he's a pure devotee. And Prabhupada surrendered to Krishna, if you see, that at the age of 70, Srila Prabhupada crossed the ocean. There was no financial security with him. And he simply surrendered to Krishna and established this whole International Society for Krishna Consciousness worldwide. Now imagine if he would have acted whimsically, doubting Krishna's plans, who knows what will happen. And, we all would not be sitting, like this in front of each other, and we would not have, got access to the Bhagavad Gita as it is, or the Shrimad Bhagavatam. So Krishna empowers those who surrender completely. Those who will surrender completely to Krishna, Krishna Shakti Vina Nahi Tara Pravartane. Without Krishna's, mercy, that particular person cannot do anything in life. So that is why if somebody surrendered 100%, Prabhupada 100% is surrendered. Vibhishan 100% surrendered. Draupadi 100% surrendered to Krishna. And even if you see Mrigari also, 100% is surrendered to the words of Narad Muni, to the words of his spiritual master. Prabhupada also surrendered 100% to the words of his spiritual master, and he surrendered 100% to Krishna. See, surrendering to Krishna and the spiritual master is one and the same. But first surrender to spiritual master instruction, because our movement is, or our sampradaya is, our lineage is that we surrender to the spiritual master, and through the spiritual master we surrender to Krishna, right? Because the spiritual master is the dearmost devotee of Krishna. So somebody might ask that, Mataji, okay, you're saying whimsical behavior, then but what can I do to, reduce my whimsical behavior if somebody is having that whimsical behavior? So the first thing is that I need to strengthen my mind through scriptural practices. The mind is the main problem that, it's not helping me to actually surrender. The mind is completely in me and mine and sense gratification. The mind does not have this habit of satisfying Krishna's senses. The mind wants to obviously satisfy his own senses. So that is why if I strengthen this mind through scriptural, practices like daily reading the Bhagavad Gita, it will develop firm faith. It will help me to develop a firm faith in Krishna's instructions. Then chanting the holy name will, reduce my mental restlessness. When you chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, it will always calm you down. It will not help you to, have more and more and more desires as such. So it will reduce my mental restlessness. And association with the devotees will help me in making spiritually aligned decisions. Right? Sometimes my decisions might be not spiritually aligned with Guru, Sadhu, and Shastras. So association of devotees will always help me. And then I need to cultivate or you can say a scriptural discipline. Right? So I need to follow Bhagavad Gita's guidelines instead of my own impulses like Kamesha, Krodesha, Rajoguna, Samudbhava. So I will just cultivate some scriptural discipline by following the guidelines of Bhagavad Gita. Then I will seek some guidance from the spiritual master and the Vaishnavas before making any big decisions as such. Like for example, somebody wants to go to US. Now it's a very big decision because your whole setup from India, you're going to push it to actually America. So it's US. So it's a very big decision. So just take the guidance of the spiritual master that, I have a job now and I feel that, I'm going to go over there. What do you suggest? Right? And what can I do over there after going? I remember that my younger sister had gone to US for a project and she was there for a good amount of time over there. She was there for 3 years. And then, of course, she got initiated, and then, she went. I think she got initiated, then she went for some studies, she came back, and then she went back again. Yes. So when she went on a project over there, she was there for 3 years, and Guru Maharaj was a little concerned that, why is she there for 3 years? So then Guru Maharaj said to her and her husband that I think now you all should come to India and you all should preach over here in India. India needs you. And that is why Maharaj sent. And they also immediately, they I think they put down their papers, and from that particular project, they came back to India and they took up another job in another company. And this was back in 2004. So this is 2025. But once they came back and they actually, took that decision under the guidance of Guru Maharaj, they're happy now. It's not like that they were earning something more. In fact, they earn much more than what they earned, there in US. Or they're earning more over here. But Maharaj wanted that in India, preaching should actually, increase. And that time, the congregation in Pune was a very small congregation, not a very big congregation. So Maharaj wanted some educated disciples of him, and they could expand that whole thing. And through them only, Maharaj thought that, now it's a time to, churn the milk or condense the milk as such. And that's why. So immediately. But see, they're still there in Krishna consciousness. They're still living very happily as such. So seeking guidance from the spiritual master before making any decision. And if the spiritual master says something, then we should have faith in those words. Like His Holiness Gaur Govind Swami Maharaj had full faith in the words of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, go to Bhubaneswar and, preach over there. And it was a jungle. It was like no plants. It was a barren land over there. And His Holiness Gaur Govind Maharaj preached over there. And now there's a very nice temple. Or in that matter, even Prabhupada, he actually went where it was like completely there's nothing. And in 11 years, 108 temples and moving around the world 14 times as such. So, having faith in the words of the spiritual master. Also, whenever there are reversals in my life, I will accept those life's reversals as Krishna's arrangement instead of acting whimsically. Like, for example, because of my bad karmas, I continuously have some calamities going on in my life. So what I do, oh, calamity came, leave, Krishna consciousness. Oh, I will not chant, okay, I'm very dukhi, I'm very sad, I'm not going to chant, when I'm happy, then only I can chant. When I'm sad. In fact, when we have calamities and obstacles in our life, we should actually chant more rounds. We should be more in a helpless condition, and we should, take shelter and surrender more and more to Krishna. Of course, Bhagavad Gita says that controlling, the senses also, we need to have we need to follow a regulated diet, a regulated sleep, and regulated activities. Like some people, they earn for almost 18, 19 hours. Then where is the time for, reading, and where's the time for a good sleep? Where's the time for association of devotees? So we try to see that how we can reduce our material activities and increase the spiritual activities. And also we should avoid some impulsive desires by practicing detachment, right? Where Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, he says that just give me 1 minute, okay? There is some disturbance over here. You're able to hear me?
Yes, Mataji, perfectly.
I was thinking that there is some disturbance. Okay. So
to us, there is no disturbance, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. So Krishna actually says in the Bhagavad Gita that somebody who is not, disturbed by some incessant flows of desire, like, rivers entering into the ocean, so many desires, which, is ever being fulfilled, but it will still, that person will not achieve peace. And so many desires this person, na Na shantim apnoti na kama kamihi, he says. Such a person will not, attain peace as such. So that is why we should try to see that my impulsive desires that are there, and when these desires come up, I just need to check that are these desires to please Krishna or to please my own senses. So then it's a reality check over there itself as such. And then when a particular person, he acts in such a way, he's trying to control his senses, he's cultivating scriptural discipline, or he's actually strengthening his mind through spiritual practices. So there is a reward also for this. Krishna gives this reward of surrendering to Krishna. He is giving that reward. What is the reward? He'll give peace and he'll give stability. And Krishna says that Bhoktaram Yagna Tapasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram Suridam Sarva Bhutana Gyatva Mam Shantim Richati. So a devotee who knows me, that I am only Bhoktaram, I am only Surya Sarva Bhutanam, I am only Sarva Loka Maheshwaram, that person attains peace. So he'll give me peace also. And even if you see the example of Gajendra also. So when this crocodile, he had caught Gajendra, and Gajendra fought for 1,000 years. But Gajendra failed during that time. He was not able to, come out of the clutches of the crocodile's jaws. Only when he surrendered fully to Krishna or Lord Vishnu, he personally came to save him. So that is why we are also caught up in the jaws of Maya. And now I am fighting for millions and millions of lifetimes. But I am failing. I am not able to come out of the clutches of Maya. Now, when I completely, fully surrendered to Krishna, then Krishna will save me. Mama Maya Duratyaya. Krishna says that this divine energy of mine, Maya, is very difficult to overcome. But those who completely surrender to me, then they can overcome. And that is why Krishna gives that divine protection. Krishna says that, Ananyas Chintayanto Ma Ye Jana Paryupashate Tesham Nityabhyuktanam Yogakshemam Vaham. Those who are worshipping me with exclusive devotion, I will carry what they lack and I will preserve what they have. So this is, and even in Prahlad Maharaj's case, if you see, Hiranyakashipu tried to kill Prahlad Maharaj, right? And so many attempts, but Prahlad Maharaj's surrendered ensured Narsimha Maharaj's divine protection. And Lord Narsinghadev had to come because Prahlad had full faith that the Lord is residing everywhere, in every atom the Supreme Lord is there. And Hiranyakashipu is asking Prahlad Maharaj that you say that your Lord is everywhere. Is he here? Is he here? Is he here? Is he there in this, pillar? So with great confidence, Prahlad Maharaj says, yes, he is there even in this pillar. So Lord Narsinghadev did not require any womb, any mother's womb to come or to appear. Because the Supreme Lord is, can self-manifest himself anywhere. He can manifest himself in any form he wants, right? So that's how Lord Narsinghadev, he came from that pillar to save his devotee. So every millennium the Lord comes, to annihilate the miscreants and to actually give protection to his devotees and to establish some religious principles also, one of the principles, this. So, well, Krishna says that, when he says that, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam yenam opiyantite. When Krishna says that those who are constantly devoted to me, I give them the intelligence by which they can come to me. So this spiritual wisdom will give us liberation. And even in that case of Narad Muni, he was a very simple servant. But when he surrendered, he surrendered because of the association of the sages. So he attained that spiritual wisdom in the womb of his mother. And I'm sorry, I'm just confusing with Narad Muni and Prahlad Maharaj. So Narad Muni, he attained that knowledge in the association of those sages. And when he attained that spiritual wisdom, then he became a great devotee in the association of devotees as such. So then, if you see, Prahlad Maharaj's, surrender to the Supreme Lord is so massive that only, and that is why Prahlad Maharaj also says in his teaching that anybody can take up to Krishna consciousness at any age, even in the womb. I was in the womb of my mother and I took up to the teachings of Narad Muni. So it is not very difficult to, take up to Krishna consciousness as such. And that is why, if you see, in Prahlad Maharaj's case, where there are many stories of Lord Narsingadev, okay, I'm just going to come to that. But in Prahlad Maharaj's case is that he was completely surrendered to the Supreme Lord. And not only that, because he was completely surrendered to the Supreme Lord, he had all the good qualities of a pure devotee. And he was very mannerful even to his own father. Like, for example, even in many devotees' cases, they have parents who are not, devotees as such, or they are yet to become devotees, you can say. And they're not very favorable. But that doesn't mean that we become, rude, or we become very harsh to our parents or to our relatives or to our loved ones as such. So Prahlad Maharaj was exactly exhibiting that quality of, respect to his elders. He was exhibiting the quality of compassion to his own father. Though Lord Narsingadev asked him that you please, ask me a boon. I'm ready to give you anything. But he said that no, I'm not a merchant, or I'm not a, baniya. We say it in Hindi language, okay? I'm not a merchant that in exchange of what I have done, what devotion I have done, and I'll ask something in return. If you ever want to give me the boon of being always in the association of devotees. If you see, right from childhood, he was not in the association of devotees except for Narad Muni, who gave him the teachings in the womb of his own mother, right? And he had only one association, that is his mother. Other than that, he did not have any association of devotees. So now he's asking the boon that please give me the association of devotees so that I can, worship you more dedicatedly and more sincerely. And that is why, if you see, Prabhupada's teachings are also on the same lines of surrender. Like when Prabhupada says that surrender, okay, to the Supreme Lord. So when he says that Krishna Das is Bindas, Maya Das is Sada Udas, or a surrendered soul is fearless, while a whimsical person will always suffer in anxiety. Right? And somebody who's following Guru's instructions very sincerely, he will not act whimsically. He's always surrendered to the instructions of his spiritual master. So if Prabhupada would have, just, acted whimsically, there would be no ISKCON. He would not even, reach America on the, order of his spiritual master. On the order of his spiritual master, he reached US. So when we are acting according to the will of Krishna or the spiritual master, and not my own personal desires, so we understand that Krishna is the supreme controller, and my duty is just to surrender and follow, and not to speculate whatever he has said. So to increase my surrender, I must cultivate faith. I must follow the scriptures. I must seek some divine association. And to reduce my whims, I must reject the mental speculation and align with the actions and will of the Supreme Lord. So that is why Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, just one shloka before 266 shloka, he says that Manmana Bhav Mad Bhakta Madhya Jiba Namaskar. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, offer your homages to me, and then you will come to me without fail. So we should always pray to Krishna, oh Krishna, let me just surrender to you and let me rise above my whims, and let me always take your eternal shelter. Let me always follow the instructions of my spiritual master. And that is why that's how the Supreme Lord heart will melt. And that's how we will be able to completely surrender to the Supreme Lord. Now, sometimes we might lose faith on and off because if we are not very serious, if you are not very, committed as such. So, but if we are committed, then, the Supreme Lord will help. And even if we seek help from the Supreme Lord, he will definitely help us. Like, I remember there was one devotee from Delhi because, I stayed almost 13 years in Delhi. There was a devotee called Deepak Gupta from Delhi. And suddenly he contracted chicken pox. And, hoping against the hope, he consulted 3 doctors. He consulted the allopathic doctor, he consulted the homeopath doctor, and he consulted the Ayurveda doctor also. So all these 3 people, they said that, you should take complete rest and isolation for at least, 20 days. And this, Deepak Prabhu, he became very much upset because, of course, I have spoken to him and, regularly on and off, during book distributions, we used to speak to each other. So he became very upset, because his parents, had let him come to Mayapur, and he had requested a lot to his parents, and then they had given him some permission. Now he would have, if he would not go, if he would go back, then he would miss that particular Bhakti Shastri course. And he was telling me I would miss the association of the sannyasis and, other senior teachers as well. So 3 days went by and he was suffering for 3 days, and he couldn't just tolerate those chicken pox. And he actually went to the temple, and it was Sandhya Aarti at that time. And he stood in front of Lord Narsimhadev and he said that, see, dear Lord, see, I'm in such a pitiful condition and my whole body is aching, and, I'm covered with so many sores as such. Please help me. And then he joined that queue of the DT Mahaprasadam. And then this Pujari, seeing his condition, he gave him some prasad. And he called for that security. And this security, he actually escorted him outside the temple and told him that please don't come back, with this type of, contagious disease, which is this chicken pox. And this Deepak Prabhu, he returned to his room. He was very depressed, and he thought that now I have this suffering for another 17 days. I have to suffer, and no darshan of the Lord, no association of devotees. And still like that thinking, he slept. Next day morning, 2 a.m. he woke up. And when he woke up, he was feeling very energetic. So he got up, he took a shower, and to his delight and surprise, he saw that all the sores on his body had completely gone. 17 days more. But within, few hours, all the sores on the body had gone. All the marks also that he had got, it just got disappeared. And he attended the whole morning program without feeling any tiredness or fatigue or any discomfort to his body. And then the Deepak Prabhu told me that he was so thankful for what Narsimhadev did for him in this Mayapur Holy Dham. And he saved his life. Otherwise, the pain was so much that it was unbearable pain. And he just got cured in 1 day. This is like, magic, you can say, I'm sure you must have heard this, story many times as such. And there was another nice story. I want to actually focus more on how did Lord Narshing Dev appear in ISKCON Mayapur. There's one more actually story I'll because see Prahlad Maharaj story and Hiranyakashipu and everybody knows that particular story, and I just gave a little synopsis also that how the Lord saved Prahlad Maharaj and what is Prahlad Maharaj's surrender to Lord Narshing Dev. But I would like to just focus on even Mayapur Narshing Dev because we are able to see him face to face. So the stories of how Narshing Dev came to Mayapur is like on 24th of March in 1984, there were some dacoits who had, come with bombs and they attacked this Mayapur Chandrodaya temple. And they were harassing the devotees like anything. And these devotees were like, very much affected. And they, when they decided to steal this deity of Prabhupada and, Srimati Radharani and fearlessly these devotees also, they challenged the attackers as such. And they could see that Srila Prabhupada and, Radharani are being carried away. So there were many shots fired and, few dacoits fell and, Prabhupada was rescued. But, Srimati Radharani would no, longer grace that main altar. So this incident really disturbed the minds of the devotees. And then the management, wanted to take some solution on this. So they faced very much, and this was the very first time they faced this violence and harassment in Mayapur. So then the one of the court of Mayapur, they suggested that please mute yourselves. So they said that let's of course, even the dacoits were threatening even Yogapeeth also. So then the devotees of Mayapur thought that let Narshing Dev be, installed over there. And they were thinking that how to, install. We don't have so much of, guidance also as such. And other devotees in Mayapur were not so much keen, of this Lord Narshing Dev. But there were many actually, ifs and buts for Narshing Dev being, installed, because the pujari must be some Naishtik brahmachari, a very celibate from the birth, and the worship of Narshing Dev is very strict and regulated. Then who will be prepared to worship them? So there was much hesitancy like as such. But the director was very enthusiastic to bring Lord Narshing Dev. So he asked His Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhu to do some sketches as such. And this Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhu had been a pujari in Vrindavan for many years. So one day, very quite spontaneously, he said that, the deity's legs should be bent and, ready to jump. He should look, very ferocious, and his fingers should be like curled as such. And then flame should be coming out from his head. And he sketched that particular deity in that particular mood. And the devotees liked. And His Grace Panchangangari Prabhu, he agreed to worship. And then Radhapada Das, he was like a very wealthy devotee from Calcutta. He said that I will, sponsor the whole, you can say, sculpting and installing the whole of the deity. And it seemed that Lord Narshing Dev's appearance in Mayapur would be very simple and very straightforward affair, But and Radha Pada Prabhu also gave, instantly 1,30,000 as a donation as such. And he thought that the deities would be installed in 3 months. So that is why one of the devotees, he left for South India. Now, the devotee who left for South India was actually Atma Tattva Prabhu. And he left for the South India to get, things organized as such. And he found a very famous Thapati over there. Thapati means the one who sculpts that particular, you can say, deity. And this Thapati not only sculpts the deities, he's also very much expert in temple architecture and engineering. And that that particular Sthapati, he was very obliging till until this Atma Tattva Prabhu mentioned that he wanted to carve an Ugra Narsimha. And but the Sthapati refused. He said that no, I cannot make, I will not make. And he approached, Atma Tattva Prabhu approached many deities, but the answer was again no. Because everybody was scared to make that Ugra Narsingh deity. So many trips he made from Mayapur to, South India, and, 6 months had passed, but Lord Narsingh had not manifested in the deity form as yet. So Radhapat Prabhu was very much anxious to see, Lord Narsingh installed in Mayapur, and he asked Atmadatta Prabhu that, go and ask that original Sthapati was there, we had, and we can just request him and plead him as such. So this particular person, he, agreed, actually, somehow they agreed, to cut the long story short. He agreed and he said that, okay, I will make, okay. And he prayed actually, and he prayed to Lord Narsingh, and then he went and he agreed as such. And this Sthapati, he had approached his guru, Shankaracharya of Kanchipuram, about the request of Atma Tattva Prabhu, and his guru immediately said that, do it. So now the guru had also actually got some intimation that this deity should be done. So then, I'm sorry. The spiritual master said no, actually, that don't do it, because whoever carves this Ugra Narsingh, his whole family will be destroyed. But then, after a little reflection, this particular Sthapati asked that, who has asked you to carve this deity? So when he heard that it was, the Hare Krishna people from Navdweep and all, he became very concerned. So then he said that we want Ugra Narsingha only. And then they were aware that, okay, Ugra Narsingh, has many implications of sculpting and all as such. Like, so such deities were carved actually 3,000 years ago by very, very elevated Sthapatis. And if you see now also in a place called Mysore, there is very ferocious Ugra Narsingh which is being installed over there. And this demon, Hiranyakashipu, is torn apart on his lap, and all his intestines are, spilling out of that altar. So this, once the standard of worship over there is very high, and there was a very, great procession, an elephant procession and festival every day. But gradually that worship declined, and today, that place is like a ghost town, you can say. So this whole village is now deserted because nobody can live peacefully over there. So, the guru is saying that this is what they want, that if they don't, then the whole Mayapur will be deserted. So the Sthapati said that no, they're very insistent, and they are coming constantly again and again, and they have some problem with these dacoits. And they handed this Sthapati, he handed that sketch in his guru's hand, and he said, this is the deity they want. Then the guru took a look at that particular sketch and looked at it very knowingly, this is Ugra category, he said. And but the deity is in a particular mood actually. So the deity, the mood is called, it's called Sthanu Narsimha. And this does not exist anywhere in this earth planet. I'm talking about now Mayapur, Narsingh, Lord Narsingh's deity that is there. And even he's saying that even the demigods in the heavenly planet don't worship this form like this. And because it is from the Ugra category. Ugra means very ferocious, So like that, there are 9 forms of category, and they all are very fierce category. And they want this Thanu Narsimha, stepping out of the pillar. So say, no. Don't, carve this particular deity. It will not be auspicious for me. So he says that I'll talk with you about this later. And then again, this Thapati had a dream after some few days. And in that dream, his guru came and he told that for them you can carve this Thanu Narsimha. Then the next day morning he received, he had a letter from his guru from Kanchipuram, and the letter was from, the Shankaracharya, and he gave some instructions regarding this temple renovation and all. And there was a footnote that for ISKCON, you can carve this Thanu Narsimha. Now I have the blessings of my spiritual master, my guru. I will carve this deity. And, he was very overwhelmed with joy. And he gave some advance payment also. Atma Tattva gave some advance payment to this Thapati. And he said that how much time will it take? So he said that the deity would be ready for installation within next 6 months. So Atma Tattva, went to Mayapur. And after some 4 months, Atma Tattva Prabhu again decided to go to, South India and, purchase some very heavy brass paraphernalia for Lord Narshing Dev and all. And then he went to, the Sthapati's place. And he said that, okay, I've purchased some very nice, gold and I've come to collect the deity. So the Sthapati, looked at Atma Tattva Prabhu and as if, Atma Tattva Prabhu had lost his senses. He's saying, what deity? I have not even found a suitable stone to carve. And Atma Tattva Prabhu could not believe on his ears. So, but then Atma Tattva Prabhu, you told me that it would be installed within the next 6 months. So then he was a little in anxiety, Atma Tattva Prabhu. He says, 6 months after I find a stone. Abhi tak I have not found a stone only. And because this stone also, if you see, this stone is a very unique stone, because the scriptures tell us that only a stone that has life can be used to make this Vishnu deity. And when you hit on the 7 points of that stone slab, they make a sound. And there is a suitable, they make a peculiar sound, and whether, and that sound is that sound has a peculiar thing, not with, that sound only the Sthapati knows which sound is the correct sound as such. And the second test is that whether that stone is a living stone or not, because there is a bug which eats granite. And it eats from one side of the stone to the other side, and it leaves a complete trail visible behind. Right? If you've seen in Shaligram Shila, if you see some Sudarshan Chakra or something like that, something close to that only can say. And then that is the second. Then you understand that it is a living stone. And an expression can manifest from it like that. And only such a slab can, or such a stone can, can carve Lord Narshing Dev. Because such a stone speaks poetry. And all the features sculpted from such a stone will be fully expressive and very beautiful. So then the Sthapati is telling that you please be patient, because I am searching, but I have still not got. And that is why, he went back again, to Mayapur. And then once he went back to Mayapur, and then again, he, then the Sthapati actually took a little over 12 months to finish that deity. Of course, he found that particular stone, but he took another like, just a second. Just 1 minute, okay? I'm very sorry, I had made some papad and it's raining over here. So I told my father to just take those papad from the balcony.
Where's raining, Mataji? Bombay?
In Pune.
Oh.
It's raining in Pune. I'm in Pune.
I'm also in Pune. It's no rain in this side, Mataji.
So then this Thapati took some 12 months as such, like, and when he completed that work, he didn't immediately inform, Atma Tattva Prabhu that, okay, I've completed. So he went, to some friend's house for a few days. And it was the monsoon season over there. And there were, some few visitors. And he thought that, it is safe to lock Narshing Dev securely in that thatched particular shed. And 2 days later, the neighbors ran to inform that from that thatched, shed, there was a fire, burning out as such. And actually, the fire had broken the thatched roof and he had come. So then, the Thapati ran to the scene and he saw that Lord Narshing Dev was untouched, but the shed burned to ashes as such. And immediately, the Thapati called up Atma Tattva Prabhu as such. And when he called Atma Tattva Prabhu, and he said that, please come to take your DT. He's burning everything over here as such. And immediately, Atma Tattva Prabhu enthusiastically, he traveled to South India and he hired a truck. And the truck, if you see, the truck was also hired. How it was hired? It was hired with half filled sand. And then he arrived at the Thapati's, studio, thinking that, this is the final stage and now it is really very simple. And now if you see, Lord Narshing Dev is a very, very heavy personality. And he approximately weighed 1 ton. And after 2-3 hours, they managed to lift the DT very safely and put it into the truck. Now to cross across the border or to travel across the border, they also needed some police permission, along with some signed papers from the Central Sales Tax Department, the Archaeological Director, and the Art Emporium, and all other departments in Tamil Nadu. And all the officers, they were demanding to see the DT before signing the papers. And once they took the darshan of Lord Narshing Dev, everybody became, very much obliged and efficient enough. And all the necessary papers, were handed within 24 hours. And a real miracle happened over there. And all the government officers quickly, they signed and all the permissions. And again, this, the truck was, the truck reached Mayapur, and very amazingly, it was a very trouble-free and a peaceful. And the devotees knew that our protector is certainly with us now. Because all these permissions are very difficult to get. A month or 2 will require for these permissions to get. And of course, usually a Thapati, he comes on the day of installation, ceremony. He goes to the DT room, he carves the eyes of the DT. That's called Netra Unmilan, opening the eyes. And, but in, the Mayapur Lord Narshing Dev's case, it was very exceptional that Narsingh Dev's Thapati had already carved the eyes. He had not only carved the eyes, but he had also done the Pran Pratishtha, a little puja and an arti, you can say. So he's saying that is why, because the Pran Pratishtha was done, all the papers were signed very instantly. All the transport, was done very instantly as such. And now so this was 1984, and then 1986, 30th July, the installation had taken place. So, it was very simple installation, and there were very grave warnings also from the Shankaracharya of Kanchipuram. He had deeply impressed Atma Tattva Prabhu, and they were taking good care. And so lot of kirtans and bhajans and yagnas were performed after the installation of Lord Narshing Dev had come. And from that day onwards, there were no dacoits harassing the devotees in Mayapur. And to your surprise, all these dacoits had fled away from Mayapur. They were not existing only in Mayapur at all. So even if we have some Muslims in Mayapur, but they are also favorable because they know that Lord Narshing Dev, and they've also become partial devotees over there. And they also know that Lord Narshing Dev is the protector, and he's definitely going to save these devotees. So we cannot mishap anything. So this is how Lord Narshing Dev came in the lives of the devotees in Mayapur. And there are many, many stories which I can say and on and on. Maybe we can have one full day. It's, I think, time of took half an hour more extra. But if you'll have any questions, doubts, queries, you can definitely ask me.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Wonderful, wonderful pastimes and beautiful class, Mataji. We could actually visualize the entire Nrsimhadev, how he was made, and it was very beautifully explained, Mataji. And the surrender concept that you over and over, even if we keep hearing, we still take time to understand. Suma Mataji has a question. Sumangala Hari Sevin Devidasi Mataji, please ask your question.
Thank you, Shilpa Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji, my pranams Mataji. Such an instructive class Mataji, how one should surrender, and so much connected to the parampara gurus, and we have to be surrendering to the gurus also. Mataji, very nice class. Thank you so much, Mataji. Mataji, my question is that when you narrated in the class that what Sampati or somebody who was doing had taken that seva of a deity, making the deity. Yes,
Yeah.
carving the deity. So why he was so scared actually when thinking that to do the Ugra Narsimha form, because why he was like that whole place will be deserted, something like that you said, Mataji, in the class. So
Yes.
why like that, Mataji? Because he's the Lord and he's the protector. So
See,
as
even all these Thapatis who are there, they know actually that, wow, because Kali Yuga is full of lazies and crazies. So once in down south, when the Ugra Nursing was installed, there was nobody to take good care. And because nobody was there to take good care of that nursing day, that whole place become deserted. It's like that, if somebody does not love us, we also move away from that place. If I'm not wanted, if I'm not loved, I'm not cared, I will move away from that house. So similarly, the Lord also, moved away from that place, and that whole place became deserted. Nobody was there to take. So this Thapati had this concern of, so this particular person was a little scared that, in Mayapur, Lord Narshing, they would not be taken care of properly. Or, that is the only one reason that he was fearful that should not, install these deities, because if there's no proper person to take care, then it will be very difficult. And in Mayapur, the whole place should not become deserted. So out of compassion, he had told.
Hare Krishna Mataji, as devotees, which form of the Lord we should keep Mataji at home? Ugra Narsimha.
We should ask our spiritual master, because the spiritual master knows our psychophysical nature. So we should ask our spiritual master only. Mostly they say that Lakshmi Narsimha or Prahlad Narsimha, because in our Mayapur we have Prahlad Narsimha. But some places Lakshmi, like I have Lakshmi Narsimha deities at my place. I have a Narsimha Shila also as such. But it depends, like when I had asked the spiritual master to Lakshmi Narsimha, so then I had Lakshmi Narsimha installed at my place.
Mataji, everyone is not so fortunate to get direct connection, Mataji. Okay, Mataji, with the prayer, can we ask Mataji, the spiritual
master, Mataji?
His Holiness Jaipatak Swami Guru Maharaj.
You write to them. They have a very nice, I think email this. You write to him and he will reply to you definitely. See, if you have a sincere desire, he will reply also very sincerely to you. Right, desire. They will read and you can get a reply from Maharaj, right?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Panchang Pranam. I'm Hari Sevani Mangla Devidasi Mataji. As you said that Mataji,
devotees, we are time up actually. It is
okay, Mataji, tomorrow I will
past.
speak.
I'm so sorry, Mataji.
No, it's
because
okay,
there's
Mataji.
another class also going on. So I'm really sorry, Mataji.
Okay, no, don't say that, Mataji. Mataji, only I wanted to
Krishnadas
ask you
ki-
one question, Mataji. You
Yeah.
said that Hari Das, Bindas, and one more for material what?
नहीं Krishnadas, Bindas, Maya Das, Sada Udas.
Oh, I like yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Hari bol, Hari bol. Thank you so much, Mataji. It was so much divinity today, Mataji. Thank you so much.
I am
And
also
we
thankful
can
to
end
all
the
the
class.
devotees. Thank you so much for your wonderful association. In fact, I look forward for the association of devotees in Hyderabad and Bangalore. So thank you so much for engaging me in this same.
Hari bol, Hare Krishna. Mancha
Hare Krishna.
kalpitarupyascha
Hare
kripa
Krishna.
sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grantaraj Bhagavatam ki jai, Narasimha Dev ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you,
Dandavad
Mataji.
pranam.
Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Yes,
Thank you,
Mataji.
Mataji.
Dandavat
Hare
pranam,
Krishna
Mataji.
Mataji, thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Pancham
Mataji, should I
Pranam.
end the class?
Yeah, sure, Mataji. End the
Hare Krishna to all devotees. Happy
Hare
Narasimha
Krishna. Pancham